Okay, so we're gonna talk about a quick little 5, 7, 8 minute warm up before the Zumba class, major areas of the body where you guys want to focus on. Okay, so let's start with the feet. Ankle mobility is super important because if the ankles are not moving properly, then with all the rotational movements in Zumba, you can really hurt your hips, your lower back, even higher up in the body, or the knees could suffer a beating too. So quick little ankle warm up. Stand with your feet wide apart, toeing out, okay? And then just simply turn your body side to side and let your ankles roll in and roll out. So as I'm turning to the left, my right ankle is rolling inwards, my left ankle is rolling out. And then I go the other way, so my right ankle rolls out and my left ankle rolls in. I use this movement as an assessment tool when I first meet a new client here in the studio. Oftentimes what I see and watch my ankles is that they turn their hips, but they don't turn their ankles. Okay, so basically there's this big force that comes from the upper body that they are swinging their upper body and the hip somewhat follows, but the ankles are blocking the movement. Okay, almost seems like they are wearing ski boots. They just don't have that mobility, or their bodies are just not used to doing that. So it's really important to warm up the ankles in that fashion. And another thing is that when you wear traditional tennis shoes, they don't really allow that ankle mobility. Okay, the way those tennis shoes are designed, if you try and twist them, they're not gonna go because the soles are so hard. So another good idea would be to invest into more minimal, less supportive footwear. I just came across a really good brand. It's called Xero Shoes, Xero shoes.
Okay.
And they are very affordable too, because I'm a big fan of Vivos, which is another minimalist footwear, but their shoes run around $150, $160. Xero shoes are, I think I bought my pair for $80 on Amazon. Also in Zumba, where you're doing more jumping or there's more impact, I find that Xero shoes have a little bit thicker bottom, so they are more comfortable. Also, in the cold weather, they are warmer than some of the other minimalist design shoes. I have Vivos, I have Meros, and I always feel the wind breezing through them. But Xero shoes are a little bit more massive, I would say. Super comfortable. I really like them. They are available on Amazon. So that would be something, to try out, because regular tennis shoes, even if you wear Nikes or, New Balance, they still have that restriction that they don't allow your feet and your ankles to move properly. I see that in the gym all the time, and I take a cardio class or a HIIT workout class, and people are trying to do jumping lunges or very dynamic, and they struggle so bad. They always lose their balance, and it's because of those clunky shoes. Those shoes don't bend. So how could you alternate your feet and jump, do your jumping lunges when your shoes just don't bend? So that's something to think about, Jen. Okay, I think you would really benefit from it. As much time as you spend on feet in those classes, I think that would be really good for you. So that's the ankle warm-up. Also, just some simple calf stretches. Do you have access to a Bosu ball, Jen?
I don't have a Bosu ball. I have just the round.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
No,
I have a stability ball, but not.
No problem. That's fine. Then just some general ankle stretches. Like what you could do with the class is I'm gonna make a little space here. Okay, so they could put their toes up against the baseboard, for a bottom of the foot and toe stretch. Then also they could bend their knees and send it towards the wall. And where you feel the stretch is the lower part of the ankle. Okay. Obviously, if they have shoes on, then it's hard to do, but maybe everybody could kick their shoes off just to start with, you know, stretch the toes, stretch the calves. Also the traditional gastrocnemius stretch, which is super simple. One foot goes forward, the other foot goes back, and it's the trailing leg that receives the stretch. So let's say that you start out the class, ask everybody to take their shoes off for 2 minutes, you know, because if they're gonna wear traditional tennis shoes, they can't do the ankle warm-up either. So you start out the class, ask them to start out shoeless, everybody stretches their toes against the wall, everybody bends their knee to stretch the lower part of the calf, then everybody does a gastrocnemius stretch, and after that, a little ankle warm-up. And you can do that in a minute, you know, all
Okay. Yeah.
So that won't take up much time. Then the second thing, and this is actually a really cool exercise for the neck, for the thoracic spine as well, and it really warms up the hips, so it prepares people for a Zumba class. I use this exercise mainly for my neck clients who have neck pain issues with their thoracic spine.
Oh, that's
But as I said, it's excellent for the hips and for the lower extremities as well. I'm gonna demonstrate it, and it takes a little while to memorize it. It's a little bit dancey, but it's gonna be easy for you because you're a dancer, plus you can guide the class through it. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch to a different view here. Okay, perfect. What we'll do first, Jen, is I'm gonna take a step forward with my right foot and I raise my arms up. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a step back with the same foot and I sweep my arms back. And I take a step forward, raise my arms, I take a step back, I lower my arms. And it's the same leg over and over, stepping forward, stepping back, stepping forward, stepping back. What it does is it mobilizes the thoracic and the cervical spine. Looks super simple, but it's very effective for people who have kyphosis or who are not very mobile in the upper thoracic, lower cervical spine. I also recommend that when people do this exercise or this series of movements, they pick a spot on the wall ahead of them and they just look at the same spot. Okay, so the head, the eyes are always on the same spot as they go through the movement. So forward step, back step, forward step, back step, forward step, back step. Then we change the feet, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. You can do it as many times as you want, and always look at the same spot on the wall. And that was sagittal plane. We're gonna do it in 2 other planes. Okay, so frontal plane, side to side movement. I'm gonna angle the laptop a little so you can see my legs a little bit better. I'm gonna step up to the side with my right leg. And then I raise my arms over the head and I bend to the left. Then I'm gonna take a cross step with my right foot and I bend to the right. And then I step to the right, bend to the left, cross step, and bend to the right. Okay, so this way and that way. And I'm still looking at the same spot. Okay, so just tell everybody to keep their eyes at the same spot. And I repeat it on the second side too, Jen. So my left foot is gonna go out to the side. I raise my arms and I bend to the right. And then my left leg is going to cross step in front of the right leg and I'm reaching to the left. Left leg to the left, arms to the right. Left leg in front of the right leg, arms to the left. Okay. And what happens is the hips are moving, the thoracic spine is moving, it generates really good movement in the hips and in the spine, okay? And it's a global movement, so we don't single out just the thoracic spine to try and rotate, but we move the whole entire body. So that creates movement in the ankles, in the hips, in the T-spine, in the shoulders, in the neck. Overall, just loosens people up and gets them going a little bit. When I do these moves, I feel and hear in my back all over. It's really cool. You can mobilize yourself with these exercises. So the first one, when we raised the arm over the head and we just stepped back and forth, that was the sagittal plane. And the second one, when we did the side bending and the cross stepping, that was the frontal plane. And we're gonna do one for the transverse plane as well, so that's rotation. Okay, so the way we do it is, I'm still looking at the same spot in front of me. This is my right leg. I'm gonna cross step behind my left leg. My arms are straight out, and then I'm gonna rotate my upper body to the left. So my right foot steps behind the left, almost like a little curtsy lunge, okay? And then my arms go to the left too. And then I change it. My right leg comes in front of my left leg, and my arms go to the right. So my right leg steps behind the left leg, arms to the left. My right leg steps in front of the left leg, arms to the right. Okay, and I'm still looking at the same spot. Okay, my head is not moving, and I'm feeling and hearing all these cracks in my back. It's very loosening and very therapeutic. Okay, we're gonna do it on the other side as well. So left leg, there's a little curtsy behind the right leg, and the arms are going to the right. And then the left steps in front of the right leg, and the arms go to the left. Okay, and then left leg behind the right leg, arms to the right, left in front of the right leg, arms to the left. So you can make it as quick or as slow as people need it. You're gonna be able to do it quickly. They will probably lose their balance here and there, but once they do it a few times, they get the hang of it. And it's great because when you keep your head stable and you keep your eyes on the same spot, it mobilizes your neck too. So
okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, I can easily switch out a lot of the movements in the warm-up dance for these. Yeah, I can easily do that because we can do that to the beat. So that's good. I will do that.
Yeah.
And so it also makes me wonder if I'm restricting my range of motion in the movements with my arms.
What do you mean?
That is causing pain. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me turn the camera around. So we have some movements where we're stepping to the side. So we have 3 side steps, and then let's see, step, 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 and then a knee raise. Okay, and then the same thing. Now, you know, some of the students, you know, are bringing their arms up. I have been kind of using it like a deltoid raise. So I've actually been stopping the movement right below the, you know, kind of like you would do. I've been trying to do it with my elbow up from weight training, you know, I'm remembering, and then contracting the deltoid. But that also tenses my neck. You
would be better off lifting all the way, Jen.
I think so.
Yeah, because if you only lift to shoulder height, it doesn't do anything for your thoracic and cervical spine as far as mobility goes.
Yeah,
lift that arm up all the way.
So I will try it with just a little more mobility rather than stopping the movements and making the movements so hard. I got that from when I was younger. I was a cheerleader, and we had to make the movements crisp. you know, because they were it was a specific thing, but I don't have to do that now. I just kind of, you know, felt like maybe on stage as I'm leading, it makes the movement bigger, but I can certainly make the movement bigger and increase the range of motion.
Also, Jen, when you step up to the side, when you do that step, don't restrict the hips and the lumbar spine from moving. Maybe do a little, you know, more of like a dancing move, shake your hips a little. Because again, that helps warm up the pelvis, the lower back, the thoracic spine. Okay. So I know that sometimes these moves require a little mind shift, because I was like that too with Pilates, that in Pilates everything is so regimented and so controlled, and you know, like everything has to be done so precise, and I wasn't used to just like letting my body go.
Right. Exactly. And ballet is the same way.
Yeah. But when I did my applied functional science training in the Great Institute, that's all it was. Just like swinging our bodies like little kids, you know? And
interesting.
And I realized how liberating it was and how good it felt. And all of a sudden I heard these cracks and pops in my body. And I was like, I think I just created a lot of tension with traditional Pilates, you know.
Right.
So often in Pilates, when they tell you, this is a simple example, they tell you to raise your arms, but they tell you to pull your shoulder blades down. Not every instructor says it, but a lot of them do. And it's counterproductive. When we raise our arms, we are supposed to raise our shoulders. It feels so unnatural to raise the arms and try and keep the shoulders down. There's no reason to do that, you know?
Right.
When we raise our arms, our shoulders automatically rise. That's what they're supposed to do. Our shoulder blades are supposed to move up on our back so we can flex our shoulders. And then when we let's say we do a lat pull down or something, you know, then you do engage your scapular depressors and you pull the shoulder blades down, but raising the arms up should not require keeping the shoulders down. So I think that sometimes in these very regimented methodologies, we create excessive tension.
Right.
And we limit the body from just moving like it's supposed to move, you know?
Yeah, kids don't move that way.
Exactly. They don't restrict themselves like, okay, I'm going to straighten my arms, but I'll make sure my shoulders don't come forward. No, when we straighten our arms, our shoulders do come forward, and then we're going to pull them back.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm wondering that my classes, obviously I have control over. When I go to the ballet classes, you know, I don't. I have to sort of do, you know, especially since I'm another teacher, I kind of have to support what the teacher is doing. But I can certainly do ballet at home and do it my own way. I mean, I don't have to do it with the class. So I like these ideas because I do feel like a lot of my pain comes from tension. And I get the tension headaches. And it's a lot of these holding patterns that I find that I'm in. And then the rest of the day, I mean, and Ava, I've done this Zumba routine, and I even did it throughout the summer. I mean, I've done this Zumba routine, the same routine for over a year. I shouldn't be having pain from it every time I do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I shouldn't, my muscles, I would think, should be used to this routine. It's not, I'm not demanding, in fact, I'm demanding less because it's a 40-minute class. And so I've had to cut out, you know, couple of the quadrants really. So that's good. Yeah. I think that's good. And then, like you say, maybe, you know, if we could write down just the very movements that would be good for me to sort of stay out of pain, to incorporate into my yoga classes as well, because those certainly your freestyle.
What I was thinking is you can do a plank or chaturanga downward dog combo that again includes these thoracic mobility movements. They also open up the hips. And I do them here on the reformer, and I get cracks in my back all over, and it's such a good feeling.
Yeah, tell me what that would look like.
Okay. Yeah. Before I forget,
okay.
Those dancey moves that I showed you earlier, I'm gonna send you a video of just that, because I know that this picture is a little bit small, and I was talking in the middle of it, and I was moving the screen and everything, but I have it filmed when it's just that, okay? So it's more fluid, and you can see my whole body as opposed to just like, you know, everything but my head or everything but my upper body. So I'll send you a better video of that. Okay.
Okay.
The chaturanga and the down dog combo, I think I have that recorded as well, but if I don't, then I can always record it. I'm just gonna have to quickly remind myself how to do it. Okay, so you're in your plank position and sagittal plane. So hips, hold on. Yeah, so, you know, you can do a little hip warm up by drawing the knee in, extending the hip. So flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Same thing on the other side, maybe 5 times on each side. And then the second one is you're just holding your plank, you lift the leg, and then I'll go forward a little. You lift the leg and you just swing it side to side, and you allow your whole upper body to swing with it, okay? So as I'm moving my legs side to side, I feel my spine shift sideways a little bit, okay? So what it does is it mobilizes your vertebrae. As far as the leg goes, you're doing hip abduction and hip adduction, okay? So when you swing it up to the side, you abduct the hip. When you bring it across, you adduct the hip, okay? So besides mobilizing the hip, you're also mobilizing the spine. And then, of course, you do it on the other side too, and you're just swinging back and forth, okay? And then the third one, the transverse plane, is you come up into a down dog, you lift your leg, and as if you were flipping your dog, you drop that leg, and by dropping the leg behind you, it rotates your ribcage. So again, it mobilizes the T-spine and the shoulders. And from there, you're gonna bring your leg across under your body, okay? So you flip your dog, and then you bring it across. So you open up the thoracic spine that way, and then you flex and rotate the thoracic spine this way. Okay, you just go back and forth like that. And of course, not all your students will be able to do it, but they can always build up to it, or you can modify it for them. Okay, I'll show you from the other side. So up in a down dog, and then you flip the dog, and then you bring that knee under the body, and you flip the dog, and see how my T-spine and my hips move. So right now my hip, the front of my left hip, the one that's up in the air, that goes into extension, and then I bring that knee under my body. I'm rotating my thoracic spine, and I'm also flexing that hip. Okay, so extension, flexion, extension, flexion.
Perfect.
Okay, so
yeah, that's good.
That's something that you can build into your yoga class and just, you know, modify it for people if they need. Oh, that got me going.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that I may, this is a Yoga 1 class, so I haven't done anything with headstands yet, but I'm actually thinking, I've been reading a lot, shoulders are another area that I tend to get tension in and that I do have some issues with, and a lot of my students do too. So I'm thinking this supported headstand.
What is that?
Okay, the supported headstand is, let me turn this around. So, whoops, thought I had the camera. Okay, so with supported headstand, we're basically creating, you're making sure that the elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and then you're coming here, and then the head, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? The head goes down between the hands, and then there are certain stages of that. But apparently, I read an article by a surgeon who did a lot of shoulder, surgeries, and he found that they really weren't helping people that much. And when he injured his rotator cuff, he decided he would do something differently. And he said that the supported headstand, that is, or even doing it against the wall, where you bring your arms into position so that the shoulder, the arm, is this the humerus, this bone here, is in the socket properly. That it seats the socket properly and gets people accustomed to that. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just do a little of that every day, starting against a wall. And I think that will help.
Jen, how does your neck react to headstands? When you do the supported headstand, does it mean that you actually have weight on the crown of your head?
Theoretically, you're not supposed to. The weight is all supposed to be on the forearm.
Okay.
The tripod headstand is the one they tell us not to teach in yoga, because then you are putting weight. The head is bearing a third of the weight. But if they do it properly with the supported headstand, then the weight should be on the fists here, and really there should be no weight. They should actually be able to raise the head off the floor and put the weight on the forearms. So I'm wondering if that might also be a helpful one for them.
Yeah, just with your neck, avoid that pressure on the cervical vertebrae. Don't put weight on the head.
Yeah, exactly. And with shoulder stand too, I make sure that I have something underneath, and that my weight is on the shoulders and not the neck.
Yeah.
Other one too. But yeah, it's so funny that I had this IT band pain. I'm just trying to figure what I'm doing, unless it's just so much repetitive motion, and maybe I just need to switch up some of the movements. But I will have them. I even had some students, I think, that videoed the routine last time, and I'll just have them send me so they could practice at home. Because I honestly would love to have this routine be a totally healing, muscle building, you know what I mean? I would, obviously, if you're going to spend 40 minutes, you want to maximize your time, and you don't want to do anything that's injuring you. And I don't really trust Zumba all that much in this particular strong one. Ai Lee, who is the one that does all of this, she's like a triathlete. She's not a normal person.
I know that guy.
You know what I'm saying? That models the video. And so she's, I think, doing a lot of repetitive motion that might be just really too much, so.
Yeah, and just think over your Zumba routine and analyze where you feel like you're restricting yourself. Just like when you said that you only raise your arms up to shoulder level, or during the warm-up when your hips were staying really square, but you were stepping up to the side. So try and change up those moves a little bit, Jen. So for example, when you do this particular one, the side stepping, swing your hips, okay? Or when you raise your arms to shoulder height, lift all the way and do a little, hip moving too, just to get everything moving. And just think over all the routine, where could you add a little bit more free-flowing move?
More free-flowing movement. So if, Ava, if I'm wanting to continue to build muscle, like on the deltoids and that type of a thing, I guess really that would be better to use like resistance bands when I'm not moving, because I'm wondering if that's what's causing more trauma, because I'm doing it as I'm moving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you're concerned about your form and you want to do it really precisely, yeah, then you can regress and just not move anything else but focus on that particular joint.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're lacking form, but with your movement education, I would think that that's probably not an issue, but you never know. Because sometimes it's hard for us to see ourselves.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I just want to continue to make sure I'm building muscle at the same time. I am, as I'm protecting my joints.
Yeah.
But I want to stay out of pain and build muscle at the same time. And I don't use weights in my gloves, you know. I mean, you could theoretically do that. We do those push-ups, you know, and I notice even after doing push-ups, I'm still sore, and there's not that many push-ups, and I don't do that many.
Sore in the front of the shoulder.
Yes, exactly. Right. So right, you know, right in the pecs. Yeah, I still have some soreness there.
I saw this really cool exercise not too long ago. I was thinking that you could definitely do it in your yoga class, and that reminds me of another one that I sometimes use with clients, and it feels really good on the front of the shoulder. So, you know, you could do myofascial release and lay on a tennis ball and loosen it up, or use a tennis ball to massage it with your hand, and that's definitely beneficial. Then there's this other one when you put your hands behind your back like that, and the lower the hands, the easier the exercise, the higher you bring them, the more challenging it gets. So basically, you lay down on your yoga mat and just put your hands first under the sacrum, okay? And I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think this.
Yeah, I can see.
For you. So my right shoulder is not touching the table. Okay. So as I'm laying on my hands, I'm going to activate my posterior shoulder muscles to pull my shoulders into the table.
Okay.
What you want to pay attention to is that you don't start arching your back. Okay. So just keep a neutral spine and really use the muscles on your posterior shoulder to pull them into the yoga mat. And it gives me a really intense stretch in the front of the shoulder, and it totally strengthens the back of the shoulder. And the higher you go, the more the shoulder will be away from your mat, and the more challenging it gets to pull the shoulder down. And right now my elbow is hanging a little bit off the table, so that gives me a little bit of an advantage. Therefore, I move more on the table, so my elbow is not hanging off anymore. And now it's much more intense when I pull my shoulders into the table. Okay. If people's shoulders are really up and their elbows are way away from the yoga mat, you're gonna see that. You can put like a folded up towel or something underneath that elbow to facilitate it, and they're still gonna get a really deep stretch in the front. And then you can flip this around when you lay on your stomach and just put the hands behind your butt. So the elbows are just dropping towards the yoga mat, and then you lift them up.
Okay.
So very nicely strengthens the back and stretches the front.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Really good. you know?
Yeah, those are good. I like those. Those are great.
Yeah, and you can easily build it into your class so you get the benefit and you don't have to do it at home.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what I need because like you say, and I think that's why I find it so hard to get on my mat or to do things because, you know, every day I'm doing at least one class and some days two classes and
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I don't do Pilates after work either. I worked out with a friend today. She she does a duo with another girl, and the second girl didn't make it today, so I jumped in and I was like, oh wow, I haven't done Pilates. When you do it all day, the last thing you want to do is, oh, I'll stay for an hour, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I do. I need to work in the foam roller, even if I just go to my class a little early and just do foam rolling then. I think
you know, I'm trying to find, I'm always fighting myself too. I'm trying to find different ways when it's convenient and I can't go around it. And of course, it takes some discipline too. So right now, my yoga mat and foam roller and foot roller are in my living room in front of the TV. And I just make myself do it because I've been having some lower back tenderness the last few days, so I'm forcing myself to do it, but I'm the same way. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. If I do it with somebody else, if I build it into my session, or as I'm teaching a session, I just force myself to grab the Theracane, or I have a couple of little neck devices that I can easily use as I teach, you know. I just have to force myself because it's so easy when, you know, like, oh, I'll do it later or whatever. And no, it doesn't get done later.
You know, I like that idea. I'll do that. I'll put that in front of the TV. My dogs are in the area, and they're, as soon as I'm down on the floor, you know, they're all over me, and they're small dogs. But I could train them not to do that.
Yeah. Or another thing that I do, I have a baseball on the side table in my living room, and I don't watch TV that often, maybe 2-3 nights a week, but that's pushing it. And then I have that, baseball on my side table. So when I sit in my armchair, it has leg support too, it pops up. And then I just put the baseball under my calf, and with my other foot, I move it. And I can easily do that, you know, as I'm watching TV. And it's not gonna take extra time out of my life. So
that's great. Yeah. I think that is.
I just have to force myself, because a lot of times I don't feel like doing it either. But then I always feel so much better, so I try and remind myself. And I think we all have periods when we are more disciplined than other times. I'm right now going through my more disciplined phase. You know.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, this has been good. This has been helpful. This is really what I needed. And I'll check in and sort of see, you know, what I can do and work into my routines. And
I will also look at what I've given you so far and what would be important to do. Also, I will try and pick the ones that you could easily build into your classes. Okay.
That'd be great.
But I think what we did today, the upper thoracic, lower cervical mobility exercises, you can easily build it into your Zumba class. And with the down dog and chaturanga in the yoga class, you can do that again. So that will cover a lot, and it will reduce the time that you have to spend on other stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Good. Okay.
And also, you know, changing things up is always good. So I'll look at the routines that we've done before and just make some recommendations that, hey, when you get tired of this, do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That would be great. And then, that'll be good. Oh, and also, when you get a minute, I have all of the separate receipts. Can you just send me a receipt that just says paid, or it can, yeah, whatever. You can just make one up. You could just take it off of a template that just has Zabel Winnes and your company name and everything, that for the $9.95. Because
Okay.
I need to turn in one receipt for them to reimburse.
Yeah, I'll take a look. If I can't print from Square, then I'll make one up.
Yeah, and you may not be able to, because I know Square just puts them out. But yeah, if you can just make one up just from a template that just says invoice, and then you just write at the bottom paid.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be amazing. Yeah, and then I'll have that after our next few sessions. I'll be submitting the paperwork, and so that'll be great.
Awesome.
Okay, good. And does this time work well for next week?
Let me see.
Yeah, what do you have next week?
And I don't always have this time available. No, I don't have it open next week.
Afternoons are good for me. What do you have in the afternoons?
What do I have in the afternoons? I could do Friday, Jan, at 1:30 my time.
Fridays are not
Fridays are not good
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me noodle on this for a second. I could do Thursday 1 2 30. Oh no, I can't.
And I do have Monday pretty available. That is a holiday, so I don't know if you are working that day or gone.
I'm not gonna be gone, but I have a bunch of appointments that day, and I have
that's fine.
That's gonna go on for a while. I could do Wednesday, Jan.
Okay. What time today?
At 2:30, 3:30, 3:30 my time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
3:30. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.